News Bulletin, Weather Forecast, second half of September 2025. Good day to our audience following today's special weather forecast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered mid-September, the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. Yet the climate patterns of recent days have brought striking contrasts. Across the continental United States, people are bracing for an intense and widespread heat wave, together with threats of severe weather including violent thunderstorms, large hail, and even tornadoes. Meanwhile, over the Atlantic and Caribbean, usually buzzing with activity during this season, we are seeing an unusual calm, with virtually no tropical storms or depressions forming for several days. But according to meteorologists, this calm may only be temporary, a pause before a surge of powerful tropical systems emerges. In today's bulletin, we will provide the big picture, from the continental U.S. to the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf of Mexico, so that you can stay informed and prepared for the volatile week ahead. United States mainland conditions. First, let's look at the situation on land. A deep low-pressure system is currently sweeping across the central and northern states, triggering dangerous thunderstorms, large hail, and even rare September tornadoes. The highest risk will be in the northern plains, central plains, and Midwest, where over the next few days many communities may see severe storms with wind gusts topping 100 km per hour, 60 plus mph. Hail damaging crops, property, and transportation infrastructure. Forecasters warn that the peak of this extreme weather will fall between September 15th and 18th, when the low-pressure trough combines with strong upper-level winds to fuel widespread outbreaks. At the same time, an opposing phenomenon is underway. A large-scale heat wave is spreading, driving temperatures in many states back to abnormally high levels. The core impact zone stretches from Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois through Minnesota and into the Ohio Valley. Daytime highs are expected to exceed 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, 100 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And when combined with high humidity, the real feel index will be even higher. For millions in the Midwest and eastern U.S., it will feel as if summer has returned just as autumn should be arriving. Health alerts are in effect, urging people to avoid strenuous outdoor activities during midday and afternoon. Stay hydrated, and keep close watch on the elderly and children to prevent heat stroke. While the central and northern states face both extremes at once, conditions are somewhat milder along the southeast and Atlantic seaboard. Florida continues with its typical pattern of afternoon downpours, but no tropical systems of concern are on the horizon in the short term. In the northeast, dry and comfortable weather prevails, though prolonged rainfall deficits have begun causing localized drought and could even affect the upcoming fall foliage season. Out west, especially in California and the Pacific Northwest, a cooler air mass is in place, in stark contrast to the rest of the country. Overall, the U.S. presents a highly complex and varied weather picture, showing the volatility of this transitional period. Atlantic Basin and Tropics. Turning now to the Atlantic, a basin that in a typical September would be buzzing with storms. But this year, the picture is almost the opposite. For many days now, no tropical storms or depressions have formed anywhere across the Atlantic. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has even issued multiple consecutive outlooks with no areas of interest, a very rare occurrence during peak season. Meteorologists point to two main culprits: widespread vertical wind shear and broad dry air masses. These are the two biggest enemies of tropical waves, shredding storms as they emerge off Africa, preventing them from organizing. Still, this quiet spell may not last. Forecast models indicate that between September 15th and 20th, atmospheric conditions across the Atlantic will shift. The Madden-Julian Oscillation, MJO, a planetary scale pattern that controls large-scale convection, will move from a suppressing phase into a more favorable one for thunderstorm development. That means storm formation chances will increase notably in the second half of the month. Experts emphasize that today's calm may well be the calm before the storm. Already, a tropical wave that recently exited West Africa near the Cabo Verde Islands has been tagged by the National Hurricane Center as an area of interest, with a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. If this wave can survive the dry air and shear, it may strengthen as it approaches the Caribbean or Western Atlantic, where sea surface temperatures are well above average. Should it organize into a tropical storm, the next name on the 2025 list will be Gabrielle. In addition, meteorologists are watching for the possible emergence of the Central American Gyre, CAG, a large-scale circulation that often forms in Central America during the rainy season. Such gyres can pool vast amounts of moisture and sometimes spawn tropical cyclones in the western Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico. Historically, several significant hurricanes have originated this way, bringing catastrophic flooding to Central America. A repeat scenario cannot be ruled out in the coming days. Caribbean and regional outlook. In the short term, tropical waves will continue to bring showers and storms across the Caribbean. The Lesser Antilles, including Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, and Barbados, may see 50 to 75 millimeters, 2 to 3 inches of rain over 2 to 3 days. With flash flooding possible, larger islands like Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Cuba can also expect scattered downpours, some heavy enough to disrupt travel and daily activities. In Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, weekly rainfall totals could reach 100 to 200 millimeters, 4 to 8 inches. With dangerous landslide risks in mountainous areas. On Mexico's Pacific coast, tropical moisture bands may bring 150 to 300 millimeters, 6 to 12 inches of rain, heightening flood risks in coastal cities. At sea, the Bahamas and eastern Cuba are forecast to see winds at force 5 to 6 Beaufort, 20–30 knots, with waves of 2 to 3 meters. Meanwhile, the Gulf of Mexico and Florida Keys remain relatively calm for now. But conditions could change quickly if a CAG develops. International shipping routes crossing this basin are advised to monitor updates closely. 7 to 10 day outlook. Looking ahead, here is the likely scenario. The U.S. mainland will remain in the grip of heat through at least September 18th, before a Canadian cold front sweeps south and brings relief. In the Atlantic, 1 or 2 tropical waves may intensify, with the Cabo Verde system most likely to become a named storm. Across the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, rainfall will increase, and the chance of a localized low-pressure system cannot be ruled out. Conclusion. In summary, the second half of September brings a tale of two extremes. The U.S. faces both scorching heat and violent storms, while the Atlantic basin's unusual calm is likely just a pause before new cyclones emerge. This is a volatile and unpredictable weather pattern, requiring vigilance and early preparedness from both residents and local authorities. We will continue tracking these developments closely, especially the potential formation of Tropical Storm Gabrielle, and will bring you the latest updates in upcoming bulletins. Please stay tuned, take precautions against the heat, and remain alert for storm risks along the coasts. Thank you for watching today's program. Wishing you safety and peace. And see you again in our next report.